Business doesn't say that, but we really work hard to prove it with our two-part rejuvenation of both your furnace and air conditioner for only $6.50 a month. It's unique. It's the unsurpassed way to keep the biggest energy-consuming appliance in your home safe and purring like a kitten year-round. It's a win-win, folks. You win with the loss leader prices for way less than our competition. We win when we get a chance to prove to you the difference of this extremely comprehensive service compared to an all-too-often AC or furnace tune-up sales gimmick, and then we can guarantee your complete heating and air system against breakdown all year long, and the service is free. Call before you have a problem. 916-378-4665, and
don't you dare tune up your heating and air.
The savings are amazing at Nature at Home Furnishing Sofa Sale. Save on every sofa, including gallery-exclusive, custom-ordered flex steel furniture.
Choose from hundreds of colors and fabrics.
Sofas, sectionals, recliners, all come with Flex Steel's superior blue steel highest quality spring construction.
Nobody has more styles and choices.
Nature Wood, the building with the water heater.
Tell them Brooklyn and Nova sent you.
Elk Grove Dodge presents War, live from the Corey Park Amphitheater. Limited Beachhead Deli VIP lounge tickets available. War, October 8th. Live under the stars while enjoying fellow lives in Clarksburg or Loomis Basin Brewery. Another incredible ST production. More. Google ST Productions Sacramento for your Big Mountain Heating and Air ticket. That's ST Productions.
To S&G Carpet September flooring sale.
September.
Yes, September. This September, you can step on select new S&G carpet, waterproof core, hardwood, or laminate, and save up to 30% off.
30% off?
Yeah.
September flooring sale. Oh, my God.
That's okay. I got you. Or you could have S&G's mobile showroom come to you and save up to 30%.
Like a house call? Oh, my.
Yeah, I guess that's pushing it, huh?
Step into S&G Carpet during their September flooring sale and save up to 30% on select new flooring. Plus, there'll be any written estimate by 10% and guarantee that the price they quote is the price you pay.
S&G more than carpet.
Go to sgcarpet.com for the showroom nearest you or to have their mobile showroom come to you.
Rayleigh's has great prices on the best quality of fresh ingredients. And Rayleigh's offers easy online ordering for pickup or delivery at Rayleigh's.com.
For just $1 down and get back to a real routine with tons of equipment and free fitness training in our clean and spacious clubs. Join today for $1 down, $10 a month, and cancel anytime. You'll end September 16th.
Join Planet Fitness for just $1 down, $10 a month. Cancel anytime. Now through September 16th.
See club for details.
Horchata. Fiesta into AM/PM on September 24th for National Horchata Day. We're giving out free horchata all day long, only with the AM/PM app. Too much good stuff. Fiesta! Give me one free small fountain drink per visit, only on 9/24/21. Must scan AM/PM app at purchase. Additional fees and taxes may apply, only at participating locations while supplies last.
Made with 7% ABV and 100% premium blue agave. For an uncharted twist on flavors like crisp lime, smooth strawberry, and tangy pineapple. Sweet start, bold finish. Cacti just hits different. Redefine what your seltzer should be. Get some spike in your summer.
Enjoy responsibly. Cacti Beer, Alien, Texas, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
Let's get ready to rumble! Welcome to the show. My name is Charlton of Big C Sports. Coming to you worldwide on the Big C Sports Network, on the #1 network in the United States of America. And Big C Sports has been voted the #1 sports show in the universe, according to myself. And a lot of good boys all over the country. I want to say happy birthday to Malcolm. Happy birthday, Malcolm. It's a countdown to Happy Birthday Week number 19. All square level war over the weekend. A beautiful happy birthday to my beautiful son all over the universe. Want to say happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Genesis 13:15. For all the land that thou seest will I give you. I really appreciate you, Malcolm, and thy seed forever. I love you. You're the best son in the history of the universe. Let's get ready to rumble. Malcolm's like, enough, Dad, enough. It's all fair and level where happy birthday, son. I love you more than I can breathe. All fair and level where have a super happy birthday this weekend. I want to say now and now, let's get ready to rumble. Welcome to the show. Today's a beautiful September the 10th, 2021. I want to say Big C Sports is powered all around the world. All you got to do is say play Big C Sports Podcast. 17 podcast platforms. 17. Number 1, Google. Number 2, Alexa. Number 3, Spotify. Number 4, Spreaker applications. Number 5, Apple Podcasts. Number 6, iHeartRadio Podcast. A lot of podcasts out there for Big C Sports. Really appreciate what's going on with Big C Sports. Number 7, Castbox Podcast. You can follow Big C Sports on Castbox Podcast. Number 8, Deezer Podcast. Number 9, Podcast Addict for Big C Sports Podcast. Really appreciate that. Also, you can follow Big C Sports on number 10, Podchaser Podcast. Geo Savant Podcast for Big C Sports Podcast. Podtail Podcast. Podcast Addict for Big C Sports Podcast. There's a lot more coming up. If I could just catch my breath. Number 14, Hubhopper Podcast. Number 15, Stitcher Podcast. Number 16, Radio Online Podcast. There's a lot of podcasts in the universe of Big C Sports, followed by Luminary Podcast. Try saying that in about 30 seconds after saying, let's get ready to rumble. All fair and level war. You can also say play Big C Sports Podcast. You will hear our national sponsors. I will introduce the Big C Sports universe. All fair and level war. I really appreciate that. Also on television, Big C Sports Podcast is on number 1, Xfinity Comcast TV. Number 2, Apple TV. Number 3, Roku TV. Number 4, Amazon Fire TV, and a lot of smart TVs all over the universe. If you better have a smart TV, all you'll be sitting there looking at a still picture. Man, you got to be in good shape to do the Big C Sports Podcast introduction. I'm looking for that $10 million. I know it's all in the works. I really appreciate it. You got to believe, you got to believe, you got to believe. You have not because you ask not. I really do thank all the opportunities and growth that's coming to Big C Sports because I rise and shine every day. As I say, let's get ready to rumble. I love saying that. Try it 5 times. You don't have to do any more sit-ups. That tightens up your stomach. Is all fair level war. But Big C Sports, Espy nominated Big C Sports Podcast. Welcome to the show. Again, no scripts. People say that is painfully obvious, Charlton. All fair level war. No 3-way teleprompters. People say, yeah, we got that down. And no producer in my ear. In fact, the only thing I got in my ear is wax. No, and I'm trying to get that out. All fair level war. I always pay attention to honor and the start of Big C Sports Podcast. I thank Malcolm for sending me stats daily. I appreciate that, Malcolm. Also, Daisy in the past has helped me set up with sporting events. Really appreciate that, and Big C in the past as well. Number 1, I will always introduce the show. Number 2, I direct the topics. That's important. Number 3, I broadcast every show. Number 4, I do all the sound effects. Number 5, I do all the commercials. Here is Johnny. I do all of that. Number 6, I provide the stats. Number 7, I do the storytelling. Guess who's coming to dinner? Remember that Sidney 48 back in the day? Everybody's coming to dinner now. Guess who's coming to dinner? What are they having? The Big C Burger. It's a tasty burger, and it comes with what's all this exotic meats. They should have put that in Guess Who's Coming to Dinner. I also do the play-by-play hit deep, right field, back to the wall, home run, touchdown, home run, 3-point play. Oh man, Willie, he's going all the way. I love doing Big C Sports Podcast. I'm also going to introduce the Big C Sports Coffee. It comes with a lot of exotic beans. And it gives you lots of energy, all fair and level war. And then I upload, number 9, I upload every show to 17 podcast platforms and 4 television platforms. And I'm one black man, all that together in Africa. I mean, they must have been doing Big C Sports Podcast for the pyramids of Egypt. All fair and level war. Number 10, I never missed a show since helping create Big C Sports back on September 12, 2015. The Big C Sports is the only sports show in the universe that says Genesis 13:15, for all the land that thou seest will I give you, and thy seed forever. The book of James 4:2. Remember, we have not because we ask not, so just ask. And I really do appreciate all the success that's coming to Big C Sports because I rise and shine. I also want to rise and shine, and I never ever want to forget to say this. My goodness. Tomorrow's 9/11. it could be a little bit macabre. You know, our country was attacked, but a lot of people pulled together. And there's a lot of veterans that sometimes we honor the fallen heroes from 9/11, but we have a lot of veterans all over this great country. Big C Sports Podcast, it is a mission, not just a one-time a week thing, not a one-time a month, or one time a year. I want to always pay homage to our Veterans Crisis Hotline, because the Veterans Crisis Hotline, they are experienced helping veterans and their loved ones get help. All you got to do is pick up the phone, call 800-273-8255. That's 800-273-8255. If you know any veterans going through any issues, people need help, or you can text 838-255. That's 838-255. If you're online, simply go to veteranscrisisline.net. That's veteranscrisisline.net, and you can definitely get some help for our veterans and their loved ones. Also, really appreciate it. Very happy to be affiliated with Valley, home with weekly TV on Dish TV, Direct TV, AT&T Uverse, TV of the first place San Francisco Giants, and the Say Hey Kid as well as the home run king. When you reach out to him, just tell him Charleston wants World Series tickets, or you can tell him Big C sent you. Again, the goal is simple. I'm just launching the Big C real estate dating app, because houses need love too. You don't want to have a lonely house. No more lonely hearts. Remember that song? No more lonely houses. And on the Big C Sports Dating app, you don't have to go to the doctor after you finish swiping left and swiping right with the Big C House Dating app. A lot of you good boys out there on the internet dating, you don't know who you sucking on. Kind of like a fish sucking on any worm that swims along the bottom of the lake. And here you are sucking on those worms. And sometimes you got to go see the doctor. You don't know where that worm has been. But in the Big C Sports House Dating app, you don't have to kiss anybody. You don't have to meet anybody. You got to meet an agent. You got to send your loan application in. But our goal is simple, simply to help recruit 10,000 real estate agents and brokers to make sure there's no more lonely houses. It's all fair level war. We want to put real estate properties on television, just like State Farm does it, McDonald's does it, Nike does it. That $10 million, really appreciate that coming in the word. Also, car dealerships do it, sports teams are doing it. Watch TV and real estate works for you. 800-772-8624. If you're looking for opportunities in real estate, go to bigcsports.pacwm.com. And after you finish with the Big C Sports home app, home loans for people who want to buy real estate, you never have to go see the doctor. Isn't that a clue? You don't have to suck on anybody's lip lock. No lip locking. If the lock don't fit, you must have quit. If that makes sense, the great Johnny Cochran. If the lock don't fit, you must have quit. You don't have to put any key in anybody's lock. All you got to do is ask your real estate agent to do your loan. It's a happy Friday. Man, it's all fair and level war. The Big C coffee, it comes with exotic beans. Man, what's all those exotic beans? It makes you feel hype. It makes you feel so good. I feel really good. I feel good. All fair level war. I also want to say thank you to Xfinity, Comcast TV, Fact TV, Comcast Spotlight for presenting Big C Sports to the universe. Just like in Genesis 1:3, God said, let there be Big C Sports Podcast. Hold on. My producer screwed up. I am the producer. So, hey, I told you I had a lot of that Big C coffee. It's a tasty coffee, and it comes with, what's all those exotic beans? All fair level war. It's so good, even the astronauts use it to lift off. But God said in Genesis 1:3, let there be light. There was thunder and lightning all over California last night. And I think even the heavens, even the universe was celebrating the Tampa Bay Buccaneers come from behind win over the Dallas Cowboys. But really, that's what you get when you say playing Big C Sports Podcast. Also, this segment is sponsored by Budweiser Zero. It has 0% alcohol, 100% all your games. Big sports fans, watch the big games, eat the Big C burger. It's a tasty burger, and it comes with, what's all this exotic meat? Rumor has it, just like the Big C house dating app, it tastes better in your mouth than it does in your hands. And I can personally verify. I guarantee it. All fair level war. What's all those exotic meats on the Big C burger? It goes great with the Budweiser Zero. It's a happy Friday. Happy birthday, Malcolm. 0% alcohol. Remember that, college kids. 0% alcohol. No more urinating in somebody's backyard if you're that classless. It's all fair. But people have done it. I've seen it with my own two eyes. Grown lady urinating into somebody's backyard. Ain't that something? It's all fair and level war. You don't have to do that with the Budweiser Zeros. It's for every team that wins the big game. All fair and level war. Big C Sports. Also, I want to say Super Draft Pro Fantasy Sports by Caesars Entertainment. It's a great app, guys. Entertainment by Caesars Entertainment. For all purposes website, go to superdraftpro.com/Big C Sports. All fair and love and war. Think about this. Featured in Sports Illustrated, Yahoo Sports, Associated Press, RotoWire, Sportico. Subscribe to Unlock. Unlock your fantasy games and sports betting experiences. You got to do this with the Super Draft Pro, the official fantasy partner of Caesars Entertainment. Just go to superdraftpro.com/Big C Sports. All fair and level war. My goodness, there's a lot of good things going on a beautiful, happy Friday. It is September the 10th. Going to be an emotional weekend for a lot of people in the United States with 9/11 coming up on Saturday. Kickoff for college football on Saturday. A lot of people are going to be paying kind of a moment of silence for all the victims that succumbed on the 9/11. But we all just give our thoughts and prayers to everybody who dealt with that. I want to make sure we always do that. I want to pay homage to Big C's Friday Night Lights, as high school kids say, let's get ready to rumble. All fair in 11 where I got some college football coming, NFL football, also some Major League Baseball. Well, we start out on Friday Night Lights, which is what a lot of good old boys love doing. I remember back in the day playing the big games on Friday Night Lights all over this great country. I always ask kids, please do not let your friends drink and drive. Just take the keys, call a friend, whatever you got to do. You want to get through the evening. You want to get through the night. You got your whole life ahead of you. Number one, from Southern California, the number one team in the country, Big C Sports, Modern Day of Santa Ana, California, followed by number 2, IMG Academy out of Bradenton, Florida. Number 3, St. John Bosco of Bellflower, California, out of Southern California. They're in the same league, the Trinity League, as Modern Day of Southern California. And number 4, Westlake High School of Austin, Texas, followed by number 5, Thompson High School of Alabaster. Number 6, Virgin Catholic of Ordell, New Jersey. Number 7, Bishop Gorman out of Las Vegas, Nevada, the top high school in the state of Nevada, followed by Collins Hills of Swanee, Georgia. Number 9, North Shore of Houston, Texas. Number 10, Center Grove of Greenwood, followed by number 11, Servite High School of Anaheim, California, down there at Mickey Mouse's at Disneyland. Number 11 is the great Servite High School of Anaheim, California. Number 12, De La Salle High School of Concord, California, the number 1 high school football team in Northern California, followed by number 13, Katy of Texas. 14, Chandler, Arizona. Number 15, St. Joseph Prep out of Philadelphia. Number 16, St. Xavier of Cincinnati, Ohio. Number 17, South Lake Carroll out of South Lake, Texas. Number 18, Connor Canyon out of Draper, Illinois. Number 19, Buford. And number 20, Centennial High School of Corona, California, in Southern California. That's the Big C Sports high school football Friday Night Lights. Remember, don't let your friends drink and drive. You want to have a designated driver. Everybody wants to get home safe. I really ask that somebody, you want to be the team captain of your team? How about be the team captain of your friends? Don't let anybody drink and drive. That's a clue. That's a warning that comes to you from Big C Sports. We're going to take the Big C pause, also known as the Big C timeout. When we come back, we're going to have all you ready for some football. College football week preview for number 2. There's a lot of good old boys kicking off around the country, college football. We're going to take what's called the Big C pause, otherwise known as the Big C timeout. In the name of the former California Governor, Arnold Schwarzenegger, I'll be back. All right, we are back for the Big C pause, also known as the Big C timeout. You can follow Big C Sports Podcast 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on about 17 different podcast platforms, all fair and level war. Before we get into college football kickoff, man, there's a lot of good old boys playing this weekend. Some college football news: Ohio State Buckeyes linebacker Police Gatori's granted immediate eligibility for Sunday's game against Oregon. The American Athletic Conference is willing to let departing teams go before 2024. And then you also have some big news. The Big 12, it votes to accept adding BYU, Cincinnati, Houston, and University of Central Florida to the conference. Georgia, University of Georgia Bulldogs quarterback JT Daniels is questionable for Saturday's game against University of Alabama Birmingham because he has some issues. And it's always a thought about how kids stay healthy. I really hope that a lot of kids stay healthy. We know we love football. We love it so much. But I know it's a tough game for a lot of college kids. They're not making money outside of the name, image, and likeness. And that's still to be seen how effective that is. But I want to get into, are you ready for some football? Some college football coming up for the kickoff of this week 2 for college football. Everybody has their own opinion about who's going to win these games. I'm going to give you my thoughts on this games. All games are East Coast time, and I'll mention it to you. Just some thoughts. Number 1 game up front is we have Kansas. They're 1-0 at number 17. Coastal Carolina, they're 1-0. It's a 7:30 p.m. kickoff, East Coast time, Friday. That's tonight on ESPN2. So that game's already underway. The Chanticleers going for 3 wins in a row over the Kansas Jayhawks. We'll see what happens. The quarterback, Grayson McCall, can do his thing. Last year he had 3 touchdowns and ran for 2 scores. They won 38-23 last year, and they're favored by 25 points. I'm going to take you to Saturday. Alabama State, they're 1-0. They're at number 25, Auburn of the SEC. And that's a noontime kickoff Saturday on the SEC network. Brian Harson's era at Auburn has a chance to get off to a great start. This game is sponsored by the Big C Burger. It's a tasty burger, and it comes with what's all this exotic meat. Now, Auburn are called the Auburn Tigers, but the mascot is an eagle. That tells you how much moonshine been flowing down there now, down in that Alabama sound, all fair level war. But Auburn, they got off to a great start. The Tigers amassed 613 yards in the game. It was a 60-10 blowout of Akron, and should have little trouble taking on Alabama State, which lost 63-9 when it visited the Plains in 2018. The great Bo Nix had a stellar 20 of 22 passing, 275 yards, and 3 touchdowns last weekend for the Tigers. Should have a nice tune-up before they travel to Penn State. That's a different breed of cat. All fair. The Nittany Lions, speaking of a different breed of cat, that game would be sponsored by the Big C Burger. It's a tasty burger, and it comes with all this exotic meat. It's all fair level. You get tiger, you get eagle, and you get lion. What a great place for a burger. Gotta be some fresh meat, some fresh exotic meat when the Penn State takes on Auburn, the War Tigers, the Nittany, and all that jazz. The game that I love on the West Coast, we have some rankings that I dispute. I have my own rankings. I'm going to put, I know it's just my opinion, I'm going to put number 2 Ohio State at home. It's a noontime kickoff, Saturday on Fox Sports. I'm going to have them playing number 3. I have them between 3 and 4. The Oregon Ducks, that's what I have. Now, the X factor of this early season marquee matchup remains is the health of Oregon star defender, who's a first-round NFL prospect, Kayvon Thibodeau. Still, even if the talented defense of the end is able to play on the field, Oregon's going to have their hands full with Ohio State's offensive athlete C.J. Stroud, 13 of 22, 294 yards passing, 4 touchdowns, but that's against Minnesota. Oregon's a lot better defense than people give him credit for. He had 1 interception, may throw another pick against Oregon. And then the Buckeyes had a come to Jesus moment. They got better against Minnesota in the second half, but they got to play much better defense and efforts. Gave up 203 yards rushing against Minnesota. Oregon's a better rushing team. We'll see what happens. But Ohio State, for you prop bettors, they won all 9 meetings with Oregon, most recently at 42-20 in the national championship game in 2014. Now the Posters have Ohio State favored by 14. I'm not buying it. I know people say, well, Fresno State barely got by, actually Oregon barely got by Fresno State last week. Fresno State's a good team, a better team than people give them credit for, and I said that would be close. I don't have Oregon pulling the upset, especially with Thibodeau not being 100%, but I do think the Ducks will hang close. You got to be nuts to take the 14 spread. Well, Buckeye is a nut. It's all fair level work, but I think that's a Las Vegas special. I do go with Ohio State to win that game, but I don't think they cover by 14. All fair level work. I'm going to take you to another team. This is all about the South. Number 13, Florida, out of the SEC. They're 1-0. They play South Florida, which is 0-1. It's a 1 p.m. kickoff Saturday on ABC Sports. Emory Jones, 17 of 27, only 113 yards, 1 touchdown, and 2 interceptions, was far from stellar for the Gators as they open up against FAU, Florida, Atlanta, and the University. Some people call it Florida FU, but they missed the A because some people are dyslexic. Okay, if you can't spell, it's not your fault. You're dyslexic. Against Florida FU, that's Florida FAU, depending on what pair of glasses you're wearing. Jones has to be better for Florida to get a win. And on the ground, think about this. Against USF, that allowed 293 rushing yards and a 45-0 thrashing at the hands of North Carolina State. This is the first meeting between the two schools since 2010. Should be a rout by Florida. They're favored by 28. Middle Tennessee State, they're 1-0. At number 19, Virginia Tech 1-0 with a big win over North Carolina. North Carolina! Maybe not an upset, though. It's a 2 o'clock p.m. kickoff Saturday on the ACC Network, Extra Network, all-friend level war. One of the more impressive performances in Week 1 came at Virginia Tech. Coach Justin Fuentes' seat might not be as hot as the Hokies sacked North Carolina star quarterback Sam Howell 6 times. They sacked him 6 times. All fair and level war. North Carolina up to the line of scrimmage. 4 wideouts. 5-man front by Virginia Tech. The snap. He's sacked in the backfield. He didn't even have a chance to take a step. A blitz can do that. They got to blitz that good old boy if you want to win. And I think Virginia Tech can blitz a lot. I think about what they have coming in. No reason to overlook Middle Tennessee State. Just keep blitzing, especially after managing just 296 total yards of offense against the Tar Heels. The Hokies sacked current Blue Raiders quarterback Bailey Hockman 3 times and picked him up twice last season, and he was North Carolina State. It's all fair and level war. You're looking at a 19-point spread in that one for Virginia Tech. Now, here's a game that people might think, well, this is going to be a blowout. Not so fast, my friend. Toledo's 1-0. They're at Notre Dame, also 1-0. It's a 2:30 p.m. kickoff Saturday on the Peacock Network. Now, put aside Brian Kelly's backward attempt at a post-game humor last week with the overtime win at Florida State. There might be a little of an emotional hangover for Notre Dame. They got to dig in deeper. The Irish need to be better than the team that blew an 18-point fourth-quarter lead before they held on to beat Florida State overtime. Notre Dame yielded 442 yards. Can't do that on the ground. 264 on the ground. Keep that in mind. It should not go to sleep that Toledo, which ran for 205 yards, they had a 49-10 victory over Norfolk State last week. They'll be up. Might be a little hangover in South Bend from the Florida State win. In overtime, they'll get Notre Dame by 16 points. University of Alabama, they're 1-0 at. I'm not going to put Georgia at number 2. They did not score an offensive touchdown last week. I know they're the Arcs for a lot of people. Noah's Ark scored 2 touchdowns in the flood. But they have Georgia. I'm going to put Georgia at my number 10. You don't score offensive touchdown, you're not the top 2 team in the country. But they 1-0. It's a 3:30 p.m. kickoff Saturday on ESPN2. The best statement in Week 1 was made by Georgia, especially a defense that held Clemson without a touchdown and 180 yards of total offense. Recorded 7 sacks. Down goes Frazier. Down goes DJ Uiagalelei. This is all fair and 11 war. But Clemson had a bad offensive line. But the Dogs, they come home to face University of Alabama, Birmingham. That's a 35-16 start since the 2017 season. It's all fair and level war. Georgia's a better team, but they got to score some offense. I just want to see if they can put some offense on the board. JT Daniels, he was 22 of 30, 135 yards, had an interception, has a little injury with his oblique, so we'll see what's going to happen with him if he's even going to be at full strength for that game. I want to bring it to another game that's big. Number 5, Texas A&M, they're 1-0 out of the SEC versus Colorado. They are 1-0. That game's going to be played at Denver. Colorado out of the Pac-12. It's a 3:30 p.m. kickoff Saturday on Fox Sports. The great Gus Johnson may have that game. Now the Aggies, one of the most, I guess you could say, offensively balanced team in the nation. Rushed for 303 yards, 292 through the air in last weekend's 41-10 victory over Akron. But we'll see what happens. I think Colorado is a difficult test for Colorado. They held Northern Colorado 256 total yards last week in a 35-7 victory. But keep in mind, they were probably overlooking them. That's just my opinion. if you're overlooking them, you're probably not going to have the best game that they could have had and that they should have coming up. That's just my opinion. I'm still going to go with A&M to get that win. We'll see what happens in that game if they can get that win. Another big game, Ball State, they're 1-0 at number 11, Penn State. Now, Penn State's 1-0 is at 3:30 p.m. kickoff East Coast time, Saturday on Fox Sports 1. Now, next up for Penn State is Auburn. Will they overlook Ball State? Maybe not. Penn State's bend but don't break defense was a story in a 16-10 upset over their number 12 Wisconsin. Maybe not an upset. Their defense is good. Sean Clifford's 247 passing yards, 49-yard touchdown pass to Josh Dotson are also worth highlighting. Now the Nittany Lions return home, but don't expect a runaway win. I'm telling you, these teams, it's still early in the season, and I like Penn State, of course, in this game, but they're also looking for it next week when the Auburn Tigers, or is it a Eagle? Whatever it is, comes to town, Auburn Tiger, Eagle. Before I take the Big C pause, I'm going to Mercer, Lord, oh mercy, mercy me. What did Marvin Gaye sing? Oh, things ain't what they used to be. Oh, no. Then Mercer is 1-0. They're at number 1, Alabama. 1-0 at 4 p.m. kickoff Saturday on the SEC Network. It would seem easy to say 16 consecutive victories is all about academics for the Crimson Tide, who showed off some new offensive parts during their 44-13 beatdown over the U. Miami stands for U-turn now. What's the U? Stands for U-turn when you see Alabama coming. But think about this. Bryce Young set a school record with 4 touchdown passes in his starting debut, and Ohio State transfer Jamison Williams caught 4 balls, 126 yards. Alabama starters likely won't play the whole game in this one, maybe out by halftime, trying for a 37 consecutive home victory over non-conference opponent out of Espy'S. Mercer's 0-3 all-time against the Crimson Tide, and that's 56-0 in Alabama in 2017. Alabama, it's amazing how well they play against Miami. Bryce Young up to the line of scrimmage. We have 4 wideouts, 5-man front by Miami. The snap, Bryce Young rolling to his right, rolling, throws downfield, and it's caught in the end zone for the touchdown! Touchdown, Alabama! Bryce Young, 50 yards! And he finds Jamison Williams. You'll see more of that in the first half. Those good boys might rest it in the second half. We're going to take what's called the Big C pause, also known as the Big C timeout. And when we come back, we're going to finish up with some college football and also going to get into some NFL football. In the words of the great Arnold Schwarzenegger, I'll be back. All right, we are back from the Big C pause, also known as the Big C timeout. You can follow Big C Sports 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on about 17 podcast platforms and 4 TV platforms at all fair level work. Back to college football. Are you ready for some football? Of course you are. California to the West Coast, and then New York to the East Coast. A lot of good old boys kicking off. Number 10, Iowa. They're 1-0 there at number 9, Iowa State, which is 1-0. There's a Big 10 versus Big 12. It's a 4:30 p.m. kickoff, East Coast time. It's going to be Saturday on ABC Sports. No offense to Oregon, Ohio State, but this is the game, really, in my opinion. But this is a great rival. When you think about Iowa State and Iowa, you naturally think Iowa, because they're the team that's often gone to the Rose Bowl under the former Coach Dye. But this Iowa State program, I think they're on the rise, and I think they're slightly better. This game is going to be at Iowa State. But think about this. It's the first time in the storied history that the rivals, both schools are ranked for the contest. Iowa has won 5 straight in the series and enters allowing 233 yards when you think about that. In total offense, impressive 34-6 romp over there in number 17, Indiana. Iowa State, however, struggled to put away Northern Iowa, but they always struggle against those lesser opponents. This is a good team, but Iowa State, don't worry about Northern Iowa. This is a game. Iowa's, it's a 3-point favorite for Iowa State. I think they'll get the win. This is Big 12 versus the Big 10, and Iowa State's the home team. I know Iowa's had their number lately, but it should be a game that Iowa State can win, but I wouldn't be surprised no matter who it goes to. South Carolina 0-1 at number 6, Clemson 0-1. I'm going to put Clemson right. I'm going to put them at number 11 because they didn't even score a touchdown against Georgia. I mean, they lost the game because of a pick 6. but they're 0-1. There's a 5 p.m. kickoff Saturday on the ACC network, and Clemson will get right against this team in South Carolina State. The concern might be at how Clemson handles their 10-3 loss to Georgia, but think about this. South Carolina State, which has been outscored 411-33. They're going to get beat down. They're 0-8 against top 25 teams since 2007. The Tigers had 180 total yards rushing in that Downing, Georgia defense. All fair and level. DJ Uiagalelei was out of sync, but so was the O-line. They'll get better this week. The final game I'm going to cover for some college football, I know everybody has their own opinion about who's going to do what over the weekend. There's a lot of good things that are happening in the world of college football, but I want to finish on one game that I think is going to be important because it's number 21 Utah, the Utes. They're 1-0. They're at BYU, which is also 1-0. It's a 10:15 p.m. kickoff Saturday on ESPN. Is Pac-12 versus BYU and Independent. One of the best rivalries in college football is back a year after COVID-19 hiatus. It would have been interesting to see the 2020 BYU squad that went 11-0, but was able to halt this 9-game winning streak to the Utah. What's the Ute? It's a Native American tribe. The Cougars get the chance this weekend. They really get a chance this weekend. But Utah's a good team. It's going to be quite a tall order. They have Baylor transfer Charlie Brewer, 233 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick. Utah's a good team. A lot of people feel they'll challenge for the Pac-12 South. I'm looking at UCLA and USC to challenge for the Pac-12 South. But Utah's going to make some noise too. They'll be right there in the thick of things, all fair in Leavenworth. Wishing them nothing but the best. And everybody, get your popcorn ready because they take what's called the Big C pause, also known as the Big C timeout. When we come back, I'm going to have Big C's thoughts on NFL football, especially last night's game. In the words of the great Arnold Schwarzenegger, California governor, I'll be back. All right, we are back from the Big C pause, also known as the Big C timeout. You can follow Big C Sports 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on the #1 podcast network in the universe. We're now on 17 different platforms. #1 in the country is iHeartRadio. They're the biggest platform with over 250,000 podcasts. We're in the top 1% of all the platforms for podcasts. I'm one-man show. I do it all by myself, like flying that big B-2 fighter pilot is all fair in Leavenworth. Last night, one of the greatest football games I've seen, especially to start the season at any level, high school, college, or NFL. Defending Super Bowl champion, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 31, Dallas Cowboys, 29. What a great game. How about that, them Cowboys? What a great season opener. Touchdown, Dak Prescott. He was actually in top form. I was really pulling for touchdown, Dak Prescott. Throwing, after coming back from injury, 403 yards. And 3 touchdowns on 42 of 48 passing. That's too many passing attempts for the Cowboys. But touchdown Tom Brady, the defending champion Buccaneers, had a bit more to the end. They gave him the ball with 1:24 left. And think about what they did. They just came down, kicked the winning field goal with 2 seconds left. You think about it. They launched their Super Bowl title defense. Clearly a very good showing for a Cowboys team that was trying to establish its credibility. They're a very credible team. Dallas will win the division, the NFC East. They're contender in all the NFC. Dallas too often had to settle for they missed 2 field goals. They also missed an extra point. You're not going to beat Tampa in that situation. But Tampa also had a fumble at the goal line, and then they dropped the touchdown pass. So it's all about who makes plays. Brady was himself, threw for 379 yards and 4 touchdowns. All fair in Leavenworth. What a great game for these two good teams. And I know it wouldn't be too surprising. Folks, if we saw them back. I know some people say, Dallas is not there. Dallas is there offensively. Defensively, we'll see. That was a push-off. Okay? That was a push-off that set up the game-winning field goal. I'm going to go into Big C's thoughts, NFL predictions for Week 1. The Steelers, are you ready for some football? All fair level war. Week 1, the Steelers, can they upset the Bills, the Patriots? What about them? Will they fall to the Dolphins? And then the Rams and Ravens will also kick off at beautiful SoFi Stadium. But Week 1 is all fair and level war. I'm going to give you Big C's thoughts. Everybody has their own opinions. I love NFL football. Dallas Cowboys at Tampa, I had it picked. I had Dallas falling to Tampa, but I had a score of I picked a 31-24. But Dallas obviously could have won the game too. But Tampa Bay got that win all fair in level war. Jacksonville Jaguars are -2.5 at the Houston Texans. It's a Sunday 1 o'clock p.m. kickoff on CBS Sports. Urban Meyer makes his debut with Jacksonville, and number 1 pick Trevor Lawrence will get his first start. Tyrod Taylor's going to start for Houston, and given all the uncertainty around Deshaun Watson, it's a grim outlook for the Texans, but I still think they'll find a way to beat Jacksonville. That game might go to the Texans. I'm looking at them to get the win, and it's all fair in love and war. I think Lawrence should have a decent game, but if they blitz him, might be a little bit different for him to stand up against the blitz. I'm going to take you to another game that I really want to see. The Los Angeles Chargers, the Lightning Bolts, they're -1 at the Washington football team. It's Sunday, a 1 p.m. kickoff on CBS Sports. Now the Chargers head coach Brandon Staley makes his debut. Touchdown Justin Herbert expected to build on last year's rookie season. And speaking of which, the great Washington Chase Young will be maybe a thorn on the side of Herbert. But I don't think, he may get a sack. But Herbert's so good at getting the ball out fast, also avoiding the sack. I think the Chargers will have enough coming down the stretch to go on the East Coast and get a win. It is an early start. West Coast teams don't always fare well when they have early starts, but we'll see. 5 of Washington's 7 wins were in the underdog role last year, and they may steal it at home, but I still think you have a great quarterback in Herbert. I'm looking for the Chargers to get that win going back to the East Coast. The Seattle Seahawks, looking forward to this game. They're a 2.5-point favorite against the Indianapolis Colts Sunday, a 1 o'clock p.m. kickoff on Fox Sports, all fair 11 war. The Colts have issues at quarterback. If touchdown Carson Wentz with that foot injury cannot play or even play effectively, then Jacob Eason will make his first NFL start. Seattle allowed just 3.9 yards per carry last season. And whoever at quarterback is going to be pressed to play and match Wentz with a great touchdown, Russell Houdini Wilson. I think the Seahawks will get off to a good start under new offensive coordinator Shane Waldron. And I like the Seahawks going on the road and getting this win because Russell Wilson, he's the real deal. I'm going to take the New York Jets into Carolina as we fly into Carolina. Got a 5-point favorite in this game. Sunday 1 p.m. kickoff on CBS Sports. The Sam Darnold Bowl is here. The final countdown. It's all fair and 11 war. There's a perception that first-round pick Zach Wilson out of BYU may have more success in New York with the first-year coach Robert Saleh, and that Sam Darnold's tasked with rejuvenating that Carolina offense with the great return of touchdown. Christian McCaffrey got to get him the ball through the air and on the ground. Robbie Anderson's former Jets wide receiver finds the end zone against his former team too. I like the Carolina Panthers and Sam Darnold. If they get that ball to McCaffrey, let him touch the rock 20 times, they'll win the game. Give him 5 to 7 passes a game. They'll have enough to get a win over the Jets. I'm going to take you into Cincinnati, WKRP in Cincinnati. The Minnesota Vikings, you like that? You like that? The Cincinnati Bengals, it's a Sunday 1 o'clock p.m. kickoff on Fox Sports, all fair in level war. The great Joe Burrow is back. Mike Zimmer, the former Bengals defensive coordinator. Minnesota went 3-1 in its last 4 in the AFC North. Joe Burrow, touchdown Joe Burrow, is back. He's back. He said, I'll be back, and he's back. He was the number 1 pick when you think about it last year. He has the number 1 pick, Jamar Chase. He struggled with drops in the preseason. The Vikings need to do a better job against the run this season, and they should be better this season. Burrow's going to have another former LSU teammate, Justin Jefferson, and Dalvin Cook to get Minnesota going. I really like what we see in Dalvin Cook. It's just my opinion. You come up to the line of scrimmage with the Minnesota Vikings. Cousins under center, 4 wideouts, I-set formation. You have Cincinnati in a 5-man front. Turns around, hands the ball off to Cook. Cook running right at the 50. He's got the 40. He's at the 30. He's at the 20. He's at the 10. He's at the 5. Touchdown! Vikings! 50 yards! Dalvin Cook can do his thing, especially yards after contact. He's one of the best in the business. I'm going with the Vikings to go on the road and get that win. I'm going to take it down into the desert of Arizona. Arizona Cardinals, they're flying out to the Tennessee Titans. Bring your own Gatorade. Tennessee is a 3-point favorite. It's a Sunday 1 o'clock p.m. kickoff on CBS Sports. It should be a fun shootout, some people are thinking. Tennessee ranked 4th in the NFL in scoring offense last season. And the Titans add touchdown Julio Jones. Touchdown! Julio Jones! They add him to that offense. The great Ryan Tannehill has touchdown Derrick Henry, and also A.J. Brown. Arizona continues to involve around third-year quarterback, touchdown Kyler Murray, and touchdown DeAndre Hopkins, as well as A.J. Green. It's a back-and-forth game, but in my opinion, Tannehill up to the line of scrimmage. We have I-set formation, 4 wideouts, 5-man front by the Cardinals. Tannehill, the snap, turns around, hands off to Henry. He's at the 50. He's across the 40, cuts back at the 30. He's at the 20. He's at the 10. Carries the man into the end zone. What a touchdown! Derrick Henry, 50 yards. That good old boy. He's a runaway freight train. Just get him the ball. Don't try to have a passing duel. I know Tannehill can do his thing, but you control the ball on the ground and touchdown Derrick Henry. You'll hear a lot of touchdown Titans. Get that boy to rock 25 times. I'm going to fly into Detroit. Big C's thoughts. The San Francisco 49ers, they're a 7.5-point favorite at Detroit. Motown, bad boy defense. They don't play bad boy defense on the football team, unlike the Pistons back in the day. It's a Sunday 1 o'clock p.m. kickoff on Fox Sports. The Lions are heavy underdogs. Dan Campbell's first game as the head coach. Jared Goff, he's familiar with the 49ers defense because he's 3-5 as a starter against them when he played for the Rams. This 49er defense is legit. Their offense is legit. They have a great run game, and their passing game will be improved. Jimmy G's going to start. It's going to be more difficult for Detroit. San Francisco returns most of his playmakers to big time players make big time plays. And you think about it, after an injury-riddled season, came after they went to the Super Bowl and lost to Kansas City. They were close down until the last 7 minutes of the game. Jimmy G manages the offense. Lance can do his thing. Maybe you'll see some train time. I think the Niners get the double-digit win in this one. Touchdown San Francisco. All fair. And Levin War, really like what's going on with this 49ers defense. It's amazing. All you got to do is give people a chance to win when they have a healthy defensive line, and they have a chance to do it. I'm really proud of what San Francisco's been able to do with this team, and all the talk about Shanahan being a great coach. I think he is a great coach. We'll see that. I want to fly into Buffalo. Are you ready for some football? They may need that Bills Mafia to come onto the field. The Pittsburgh Steelers at the Buffalo Bills. Now it's a 6.5-point favorite for Buffalo. It's a Sunday 1 p.m. kickoff on CBS Sports. Now the Pittsburgh Steelers, they started 11-0 last year. This team has Big Ben Roethlisberger. He's back with an axe to grind. Now the Steelers being left for dead despite an offseason spent revamping the offensive line. They just got Watt signed on that $100+ million contract, so he's going to be motivated. And they also have Franco Harris back. Producer, that's Najee Harris. Okay, same Harris. The name is spelled the same, and they may perform the same. On the field, I want to see Roethlisberger, Steelers up to the line of scrimmage, 4 wideouts, I-set formation, Buffalo in a 5-man front. Roethlisberger turns around, hands off to Harris. Najee Harris turns the corner at the 50. He's across the 40, cuts back at the 30. He's in at the 20, at the 10, at the 5. Touchdown! Steelers! Najee Harris, 50 yards. You may see that in this game. I really like Najee Harris. He may be the answer to Franco Harris back in the day. No joking about it. The Steelers have a chance to win this game. But Big Ben, they started strong last year, 11-0. I think they have a better team this year than what they had last year. Don't let the 11-0 fool you. Like Billy D. Wisdom said, don't let the smooth tape fool you. Touchdown Stephon Diggs. He's torched the Steelers for 10 catches, 130 yards last year. That was a Sunday Night Football victory last year. Now Pittsburgh is a healthier defense. I'm telling you, they're not Mean Joe Green, Dwight White, Elsie Greenwood, and all those Jack Lambert, all those good old boys, Mel Blunt in the backfield. They returned Devin Bush and added Joe Sherbert. But think about it this week. They got T.J. Watt. He's going to earn that paycheck. All they need is a couple of sacks to stay close in this game. I got the Steelers in an upset over the Buffalo Bills. I just don't see Big Ben coming back with a swan song and losing to Allen. Just my opinion. The Philadelphia Eagles, as we fly into Atlanta, Jackson Hartfield, 3.5-point favorite. Sunday, 1 p.m. kickoff on Fox Sports. It's a battle of first-year coaches Arthur Smith and Nick Sirianni, and someone has to get their first win. Touchdown Jalen Hurts. He earned the starting job and is looking to live up to an offense that averages 21 points per game last year. Matt Ryan, touchdown Matt Ryan, lost Julio Jones in a trade, but it's time to unleash rookie tight end Kyle Pitts. You lose Julio Jones, you're probably going to lose a game that you shouldn't win. Just my opinion. They said Julio couldn't stay healthy. But I like this game. It's a tasty burger. This game is sponsored by the Big C Burger. It's a tasty burger, and it comes with, what's all those exotic meats? Falcon and eagle. I would say they're exotic meats. All fair and level war. I'm going to go with the Eagles getting that game because there's no Julio Jones. That's my opinion. I'm sticking with it. We're going to fly into New York City, the Giants, and the Denver Broncos coming to town, a 2.5-point favorite. It's a Sunday 4:25 p.m. kickoff on Fox Sports. I'm flying into LaGuardia instead of New York JFK. Last time I flew into JFK, I was missing some luggage, and I called in. They said, Mr. Curry, we found your luggage. I said, oh my God, I got the burgers. I said, are the burgers there? They said, well, there were no Big C burgers inside the luggage. I said, what do you mean? All I had was Big C burgers inside the luggage. They said they found the luggage, but they couldn't confirm or deny if there were any burgers. I said, what about all the exotic meats? They still said there were no burgers inside, but it's all fair and level war. Sunday, 4:25 p.m. kickoff on Fox Sports. What a game, Denver traveling east. The Broncos have touchdown Teddy Bridgewater as a starter, and rookie Javonte Williams could split time with the great touchdown Melvin Gordon III at tailback. Daniel Jones enters a pivotal year as a Giants starter, and it hinges on whether Saquon Barkley and Kenny Galladay can stay healthy in the home opener. I don't know if they can do that. Touchdown Teddy Bridgewater, he's a game breaker, but you coming up to the line of scrimmage, we have I-set formation, 4 wideouts, 5-man front for the Giants. Bridgewater turns around, hands off to Gordon, turning the corner at the 50, he's down the sideline at the 40, cuts back at the 30, at the 20, at the 10, at the 5, touchdown! Broncos! Melvin Gordon, 50 yards! That good old boy is ready for a breakout year. Maybe Saquon Barkley gets one too, but I'm going with the Broncos to use that running game and the more flexible, versatile quarterback in Bridgewater and the Broncos to get a win. I'm going to go, what a game. Are you ready for the football? Of course. Not so fast, my friend, the Great League Custom. Cleveland! This one ain't for you. It's all fair. She's not for you. Remember what Scarface told his friend Manolo when he looked at Scarface's sister? He said, she's not for you, man. And he didn't listen. And what happened? He shot him. Don't shoot people for dating your sister. And that's a Scarface. All fair and level. Cleveland at Kansas City. The Chiefs are a 6.5-point favorite. It's a Sunday 4:25 p.m. kickoff on CBS Sports. What a game. Not be surprised if the Browns win. Not so fast, my friend. I would be surprised. Last year's AFC Divisional Playoff game. Touchdown Baker Mayfield can hit play-action throws behind a strong running game that features touchdown Nick Chubb and former Chiefs running back Kareem Hunt. The Browns also upgraded their back seven in the offense. Think about that. It's going to be tough to beat the Chiefs at home. Probably not this time considering touchdown Patrick Mahomes. He's 17-4 at home. Never lost to an AFC North opponent. But this is a great game. Has all the potentials of a great game. If Cleveland remembers to run the football. But I like this win for a touchdown. Patrick Mahomes. Mahomes with the Chiefs up to the line of scrimmage at the 50-yard line. They have I-set formation. They have 4 wideouts. The Browns have a 5-man front. Mahomes, the snap, turns around, hands off the ball, and he has no, he's not going to handle it. He's going to roll it. Mahomes breaks through the line of scrimmage across the 40. He's at the 30. He's just at the 20. He's at the 10. He's at the 5. Touchdown! Jeez! Mahomes pulls down and tucks it under and runs for 50 yards. He has breakaway speed, but he also has an arm that can throw the distance. I'm looking forward to this game. Should be a good one. Gonna fly into New Orleans, but this game's gonna be played in Jacksonville, so that takes away the home field advantage for the Saints. But touchdown Aaron Rodgers, he's only 1-4 in the state of Florida. Google it. The Packers are a 4-point favorite at New Orleans by way of Jacksonville. Sunday, 4:25 p.m. kickoff on Fox Sports. Hurricane Ida forced this game with all the thunder and hurricanes. Really thoughts and prayers with all the people in the rescue effort down in the southern states. But the Packers beat the Saints on Sunday Night Football last year. Touchdown Aaron Rodgers beat the Saints for the first time in the Superdome. The first time in all of his seasons playing. The first time. Touchdown Jameis Winston is going to have some success in the short passing game with touchdown Alvin Kamara. Can he keep up with Rodgers in an offense that returns all the right pieces without Green Bay turning the ball over? I'm telling you, they have a chance. They have a chance. Winston up to the line of scrimmage, 50-yard line. They have 4 wideouts, I-set formation. The Packers in a 5-man front. Winston turns around, hands off to Kimura. He's running right to the line of scrimmage, across the 50. He's at the 40, turns inside at the 30. He's at the 20, he's at the 10, he's at the 5. Touchdown! Save! Alvin Kamara, 50 yards. That good a boy. He's a touchdown waiting to happen. But I'm still going to go with the Packers getting this win. All fair and level. Don't throw darts. I still think they're going to be peeved off by what happened last year, losing the NFC Championship game at home to touchdown Tom Brady. I'm going to give you the Miami Dolphins at New England. Now, the Patriots are a 3-point favorite. It's a Sunday 4:25 p.m. kickoff, East Coast time on CBS Sports. A lot of fans from Alabama might tune into this one, as well as all the East Coast, from Florida up to New England. You have a quarterback matchup, Tua Tagovailoa, Big Tua, versus Mac Jones. Is Nick Saban's former NFL team against Saban's mentor, the great touchdown in defense Super Bowl champion maker Bill Belichick. All fair and level war in this game. A lot of good old boys are betting the farm. You can bet the farm on this game that Miami's going to bring the heat. If a rookie quarterback in Mac Jones can beat that defense for Miami, then tip your cap to Nick Saban for making the choice. I don't think he's going to do it, though. It's just a thing that Miami has a read on Jones. For all the Alabama ties, the Dolphins rookie Jaden Waddle can make a splash with a few highlight reel catches. And I like Miami in this game. I don't think a guy that was playing college football last year is going to beat that Miami defense. It's a great defense. So we'll see what happens. Everybody has their own opinion. It's kind of the pupil and the teacher. But I'm going with Miami with a close win over Bill Belichick in this one. I'm going to come out to the West Coast, fly into LAX. The the Bears, they fly into beautiful LAX, and they'll take on the LA Rams at SoFi Stadium for the first time in front of a packed house. 7.5-point favorite of the Rams. Sunday, 8 p.m. kickoff. Actually, 8:20 p.m. kickoff on NBC Sports. Now, the Rams have the quarterback they want, so they say, not so fast, my friend. Never won a playoff game. And touchdown Matthew Stafford. He has years of experience against the Bears. But if the Rams can get the running game early, they don't have Akers this year, it's going to be more than enough defense to tee off on Andy Dalton. I don't want to see Justin Fields start this game or even playing this game. Let him get a read from the sideline, my opinion. But Sunday night, the spotlight will only increase if the cat calls for, "We want Justin! We want Justin!" They're not going to chant, "We want Justin" at SoFi Stadium. Maybe they'll do that in Chicago. I'm going to close out Big C's thoughts on this weekend's kickoff. Let's get ready to rumble! Down in Las Vegas style, at the beautiful Allegiant Stadium. The Baltimore Ravens come to town. They're a 4.5-point favorite at the Las Vegas Raiders. It's all fair, 11 war. They have the George lit for the late Al Davis. It's a Monday night football game. It's an 8:15 p.m. kickoff East Coast time on ESPN. The Raiders, they're going to be fired up to open up Allegiant Stadium. It's a big spot for John Gruden in his 4th year of his second stint of a $100 million contract. I'm only asking for $10 million from Nike. Now, Las Vegas went 2-6 in his home season. Think about this. No fans, though. The fans may make a difference against Baltimore, but they have Superman touchdown Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson is 2-1 on Monday Night Football. Most likely will be 3-1. He has 7 touchdowns and no interceptions in those games. But think about it. The Ravens have a few injuries. I don't think it's going to cost them because the Raiders tend to lose big games. I remember when Rick Jannon was quarterback in the Coliseum, Big Saragusa landed on his shoulder, and the Ravens won a playoff game. And it looks like it might be something similar. They went out to the Super Bowl. We'll see what happens, but I think you're going to hear Ravens up to the line of scrimmage. Lamar Jackson, I-set formation, 4 wideouts, 5-man front by the Raiders. Jackson pulls it down, turns the corner at the 50, cuts back at the 40. He's across the 30. He's at the 20. He's at the 10. He's at the 5. Touchdown! Ravens! Lamar Jackson, 50 yards! And I think you'll see him break one loose for the Baltimore Ravens. I can't wait for some football. I mean, it's all fair level where we have Big C's Friday Night Lights. We have college football. We have some big games. I like the Oregon game, also at Ohio State. And then there's a big game, Iowa State at home versus Iowa. And don't close your eyes, Washington trying to bounce back and get a win at Michigan in the Big House. It's going to be a tough hole to climb, especially against those Big Ten officials. It's just my opinion. All fair level war. I'm telling you what I love about Big C Sports. Just so many things. I do it impromptu, no producer in my ear, no teleprompters, no stats people giving me stats. I do it all on myself. I get stats from my son Malcolm. At times I got stats from my daughter Daisy back in the day, and also Big C in the past. I'm just going to quickly run down tonight's Major League Baseball schedule for a beautiful September the 10th, 2021. I won't do it the normal way because we're up against the clock, just like Tom Brady was up against the clock, but it didn't matter. Brady drove them downfield. They got to push off. Yeah, they got to push off, but they got in the field goal position. And the referee didn't see it because it was right in front of his eyes. It's all fair in Leaven War. Tonight, Washington Nationals at the Pittsburgh Pirates. All fair Leaven War. We have Colorado Rockies. They're at Philadelphia. And we have Toronto Blue Jays at the Baltimore Orioles. We'll have the New York Yankees at the New York Mets. It's the Battle of New York City. New York City, yes, the Battle of New York City. We have Milwaukee at Cleveland. This is for you. Not so fast, my friend. And then we have the Tampa Bay Rays at the Detroit Tigers. The Miami, look about this, the Miami Marlins at the Atlanta Braves. What a great game down south. The Braves should get that one. The Boston Red Sox at the Chicago White Sox. Watch the Sox in this game. This is sponsored by Maytag. We watch more Sox than anybody. It's all fair in Leaven War. The Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim at the Houston Astros. What's all those cameras going off in the dugout for Houston? The Kansas City Royals at the Minnesota Twins. And the Cincinnati Reds at the St. Louis Cardinals, with the Texas Rangers at the Oakland A's out here in the Bay Area. And then we have the San Diego Padres at Chavez Ravine taking on the LA Dodgers, who've had a hit in their giddy-up lately. The Arizona Diamondbacks at the Seattle Mariners. And the San Francisco Giants in Chicago in the city by the Windy City. The city by the Bay versus the Windy City. What's all these exotic meats? All fair and level war. The first place San Francisco Giants. I really love what's going on in the world of all the great sports. It's a happy birthday weekend for my son Malcolm. I love paying homage to all my family members on my mother's side. We called her Mama Hattie Leach, also Pop, former Negro League baseball player. Mutt Deer, my grandmother, my Hezekiah, my grandfather, really appreciate my lineage. My beautiful mother Bernice. On my father's side, Albert Curry and Alberta Curry, and my very handsome father Edward Curry. Love paying homage to my family and my wonderful brothers and sisters. It's all fair and level. Happy birthday, Malcolm. You deserve it. You deserve everything that you have great in life because you have a great head on your shoulders. You make good decisions. I'm so proud of seeing who you become. Always, always love your family. Don't let any outsiders separate your family. Sometimes you'll find that happening. Never let it happen to you. It's all fair and level war. Big C Sports Podcast, Super Draft Pro Fantasy by Caesars Entertainment. I'm telling everybody the best sports entertainment. Go to Super Draft Pro /Big C Sports, superdraftpro.com/Big C Sports for all your fantasy sports. It's all fair and level war. Back in the day, there's a man by the name of Joe Berdini Brown. He was known as the Muhammad Ali's right-hand man, and he would always tell Ali, you float like a butterfly, you sting like a bee. Rumble, young man, rumble. With all you got to use, how can you lose? Down goes Frazier. Down goes Frazier. I go, up goes Big C. Up goes Big C. It's all fair and level war. As my beautiful mom always says, there's never ever an excuse for racism or domestic violence. If you know any man, woman, or child going through that garbage, pick up the phone and ask for help, because no man, woman, or child should ever have to go through that garbage on their own. As we always tell you on every Big C Sports show, we thank you for that $10 million. We appreciate you for that $10 million. And we hope that you have a super fantastic happy birthday!